Welcome back. Our first guest for today and for the week is none other than Chairperson of the South African Muslim Network, SAMNET, Dr. Faisal Suleiman, and he is going to discuss how we can discover effective strategies for utilizing social media to gain support and to counter the Israeli propaganda in the battle for public opinion. This is a really important topic, so we really need to listen carefully, offer our views, offer our expertise, and inshallah come together, unite together to counter the misinformation and indeed deliberate misinformation or disinformation coming from the IOF and the Israeli state in general. Dr. Faisal, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to News and Views on Salam Media this early Monday morning.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Asha, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being with us. I know it's difficult after an odd night, and indeed, I hope that both of us, in addition to the listeners out there, have spent the last night in Ibadah. These are such blessed days, and inshallah, together we'll be able to, as an ummah, perhaps make enough dua that Allah Ta'ala will really stop this onslaught, inshallah, on the Gazans, because it has been heartbreaking to spend Ramadan watching this, has it not?
Absolutely. Allah accept all our du'as, and then, of course, of the global ummah, which I'm sure, notwithstanding the position of some of the governments of the world and the Arab countries in particular, the people on the ground have only solidarity and empathy, etc., with the people in the whole of Palestine, occupied Palestine, and of course in Gaza as well. But yes, it just beggars belief what is happening in broad daylight, in the full view of the world. It's unfathomable, really. It is that we've reached the stage that because of the normalization, Israel, United States in particular, the two know that they can act with absolute and complete impunity. I mean, you mentioned the ICJ, you mentioned the non-binding resolution, etc. And there's,
Mhm.
impunity is not even the word. It's
Yes.
just, I think none of us have words for what we have seen unfolding from the 7th of October or the 8th of October, and continuing now, even after a death toll close on 40,000, that
Mhm.
the world just sits by. And I think we all know this could not be happening without the tacit approval of Saudi Arabia in particular, and some of the other Gulf countries. So it just, like you say, I think we are just lost for words. But we have to try what we can. We come from a history of apartheid where we understood BDS, and shunning of the apartheid regime had to some extent maybe a even greater impact than a few lumped mines going off here and there. Um, Debatable, I guess, but it's not an either or; it's a both. Um, Hamas have never said, any Israeli outside of or even any Zionist outside of Israel be attacked. Neither have nor have they ever done it. So the options then are all the non-violent options to us, and we must do as much as we can in that respect.
Inshallah. And in order to do that, you're proposing that we start to develop effective strategies for utilizing social media, particularly because of its wide reach, to gain greater support and to counter the Israeli disinformation. How do you envisage this happening, Dr. Suleiman?
So actually, there are so many levels at which we can do this. Firstly, at the level of just monitoring what's going on, both in terms of look, clearly at the moment our focus is Palestine, but what we do or what we'd like to do will extend to human rights issues all over the world. It
Hmm.
would it can extend even into the realm of politics now, and in the run up to May the 29th. Um, and it can extend into the Uyghurs, Kashmir, what's happening with the Rohingya, the CAA laws, etc. in India. So, but of course, as rightfully our focus for now, it's not exclusive, but will be on Palestine. So, at the first level, and of course, Islamophobia. There's still incidents of Islamophobia that occur. just to digress and give you two examples at the moment, we've got two policemen in KwaZulu-Natal who are being harassed because they have a beard. The Department of Health has a nursing policy now that bans headscarves for nurses on duty across all faiths. So it just says ban headscarves for nurses on duty in the state. And you know, when eventually we were to drag it out of them, the reason it turned out to be because of issues of color. Not color bar, but the color of the scarves.
Of the
But
scarf,
somewhere along the line, someone got to the Department of Health and said, you must ban scarves. So, you know, that sort of thing. And this is where social media can help in all of those things. But anyway, to more direct to the point. So for a start, we would like, I'm going to use an example, Aisha. You know, and I'm talking maybe about 10 years ago or something, or even longer. I was on the religious board of the SABC a very long time ago, before Cloudy Motsoeneng decimated the SABC. But so it's probably about 15 years ago, if not more. We had a complaint from the Jewish Board of Deputies that a radio drama on Lotus FM had said something that they didn't like, not even anti-Semitic, but just something that didn't cast Jewish people in a good light. Now, this was a radio drama on Lotus FM 15, 18 years ago,
right.
Which means Jewish Board of Deputies had somebody listening to Lotus FM to pick it up, right? So, and I imagine the system would work like this. And I think I read something about this maybe about 20 years ago about how groups do it. For example, so if you are, in your office doing something where you can have a radio on, or you're a house executive in the kitchen between 10 and 11 every day, or you subscribe to Fair Lady or Sports Illustrated or one of these magazines, we'd like to make you conscious and aware of when you're reading Sports Illustrated, if you see something that is okay, clearly not Palestinian related, but something that is Islamophobic, for example, or you're listening to a news SAFM, or we ask you to listen to the news on Lotus for an hour a day, or on the Jewish radio station Chai FM, or something to that sort, during the time when having the radio on won't be a problem for you. It's not interfering with your work, or while you're cooking, while you're doing whatever. And all you need is the consciousness to say, wow, I heard something that is not right about Islam, about Muslims, about Palestine. The news is distorted, or there's inciting hatred or something like that. And all you then need to do is just use the SAMNet WhatsApp number, or make a call or an email to say, I was listening to Lotus FM at 10 o'clock on this date, April the 2nd, on the 10 o'clock news, they said this or that about Islam or Muslims or Palestinians, and the news was very wrong, very distorted. Then it is our job to then take this up and follow it up. That would be at a level of just monitoring and listening, whether it's the newspaper, whether it's an internet podcast, and there's so many podcasts, there are so many influences. I mean, some of the talk show hosts and some of this, some of the talk show, some sort of mixed comedies, a very big JJ Tabane, there's others, and so influential. But to raise the consciousness of being aware when you see something, do something with it. So that would be at one level that you make us aware of.
Hold that thought for me, Dr. Suleiman. We need to go for an ad break, but hold that thought. Raise consciousness when you see it, where you see it, and WhatsApp the SAMNet number. Let's go for an ad break.
Salam Media, your spiritual companion this Ramadan.
This Ramadan, spread the love with Sunshine D margarine, the perfect addition to your sehri table for spreading, baking, and cooking. Sunshine D is rich in essential vitamin A, E, and D, and is the tastiest way to get their day or night started. Sunshine D tastes nice. No lies.
Southern Africa Dawah Network is a non-profit organization striving to uplift the disadvantaged and empowering through education and dawah. Donate to the SADN centers, the M.A. Motala Islamic Center, as well as our Islamic centers in Amoti, Imtalumi, Botshabelo and Castile. Donate your zakat and lillah today. Contact Farooq Sheikh 076 321 0650, Yusuf Mohammadi 072 259 3457, or the SADN head office 031 304 8000. Our account, Standard Bank, account number 050 856 294 for your zakat, or 050 879 790 for your lillah. Dawah through education, education through dawah, the Southern Africa Dawah Network.
World-class financial services only at Sapphire Global, your financial partner. If you are looking for Islamic Sharia and ethical financial products, look no further. Sapphire Global offers a wide range of financial service offerings from short-term to life and investments. A full-service center with all financial requirements under one brand. Our highly skilled and experienced consultants are ready to help protect your financial future. Contact us on 041 001 0184 or visit our website on www.sapphireglobalfs.com. Sapphire Global is an authorized financial services provider.
Are you looking for a cross-border road transport company that is committed in achieving high safety standards, who is fast and efficient, and also excel in customer service? Gardi Global specializes in cross-border transport from South Africa to Mozambique, Zimbabwe, Zambia, and Malawi. Gardi Global, situated at 10 Daniel Road, Benrose, Johannesburg. For inquiries, contact our trained staff on 011 614 3108 or email info@gardiglobal.co.za. Safe long haul into Africa is our business. Gardi Global Transport.
Abu Huraira narrated that he heard the Prophet Muhammad, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, say, "In black seed there is a healing for every disease except death." This Ramadan, experience the health benefits of this ancient blessed seed by using the Tib Black Seed range. Black seed assists the body to boost immunity, regulate blood sugar levels, reduce inflammation, and act as a potent antioxidant. Experience a holistic approach to health by introducing the Tib Black Seed range into your Ramadan routine. Available in capsules, pure cold-pressed oil, and a vapor rub. Trust Tib Health Sciences for quality black seed products. For more information, visit blackseed.co.za. Available at leading pharmacies.
Alhamdulillah. Muslims in South Africa finally have access to a fully Sharia-compliant emergency medical takaful and wellness product. As an industry first, Emergivac Sharia offers up to 575,000 Rand emergency medical cover at a private hospital for you and your family. Plus, you receive 24-hour access to private ambulance evacuation, 24-hour armed response services, roadside home, and even appliance assistance services. Emergivac Sharia offers you and your family priceless emergency medical cover at a fraction of the cost of traditional private healthcare. Simply download the Emergivac app and register online or SMS Sharia to 40777. Emergivac Sharia, for when serious emergencies require seriously fast response.
The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "The best of you are those who feed others." This Ramadan, join Penny Appeal South Africa in changing lives through Feed Our World. Provide food packs, hot meals, and sustainable food gardens. Make it count. Visit www.pennyappeal.org.za or call 031 1100 573.
You are listening to Salam Media live from our headquarters in South Africa. This is Salam Media, keeping you company this Ramadan.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back, and welcome back again to Dr. Faisal Suleiman of SAMNet. We've been discussing social network strategies, effective strategies for utilizing social media to gain support and counter Israeli propaganda and other propaganda around Islamophobia, etc. Now, Dr. Faisal was saying just before the ad break that wherever you see Islamophobia, wherever you see Israeli propaganda, anything that counters human rights, hate speech, etc., make a note of where you saw it, when you saw it, and report it to SAMNET via their WhatsApp line. You were saying that was the first thing, Dr. Suleiman. What's the next?
Okay, maybe I should give out that WhatsApp line, but perhaps we can do that at the end as well. Yes.
Yes,
So
we've actually been trying to get it from you, but I don't think you saw the operator's
the message.
messages.
All right, I'll read it out now, and then maybe we
Sure.
can. So it's 084
Here we go,
3333
084
979.
084-333-979. If you want to
Yes.
report anything you've seen or heard in the media to the SAMNET WhatsApp line, that's the number again, 084-333-979. Please make a note of it. Okay, what's the second thing you were about to tell us when we had
Right.
to go and pay the
So
bills?
what that does, Aisha, is firstly, other than reporting, it raises the consciousness in whoever's involved with us, and not just involved, but just generally of our Muslim community, that there is something that can be done. So often you'll hear people talk, colloquially at a social function. So, yeah, I heard this guy say this, and they're happy just to leave it there, or maybe it's because they don't know what can be done further or what is to be done further. And so by podcasts like these that we'll send out, inshallah, raising awareness and consciousness, and if it is someone in the family, one hope that it translates to the rest of the family as well. It translates to that person's social media to say, you know what, this is what I did. I heard this and I sent it to SAMNET, and now this is what they're doing, sort of thing. So it's also about raising the consciousness that when you see something, you can do something about it. You just don't have to accept, oh, of course, look at this guy again, he's nonsense that he's talking, and you leave it at that. Not good enough. So that's the first level, at a level of raising consciousness, then of monitoring. Of when you heard something, you picked up something, you then give the information to us. On the third level, and this is where we really would like assistance in terms of numbers. So, and if you don't know how to use this, we're happy. I mean, it's not, if I can be taught, believe me, absolutely anybody can be taught to use Twitter or I'm not Facebook, I'm not on Facebook, but Twitter at least. So whether it's Twitter, whether it's TikTok, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, etc. The next step would then be for us to look at it and say, okay, so John Steenhuisen has said there's no genocide in Gaza. Or Gayton McKenzie has said, my Bible says I must just support Israel. Then, with the help of people, we would then make out an appropriate response, type out an appropriate response, and then be able to send it out to people to say, right, those who volunteered have been helped to say, right, I'd like you to now tweet Gayton McKenzie with quotes from Jewish Voices for Peace, or this you mentioned the sermon delivered in Jerusalem,
yes,
or any one of those, and post this video to him or post this tweet to him and ask him where in the Bible it says genocide is permissible. Now, if Gayton McKenzie suddenly gets 20 or 30,000 tweets, or 5,000 tweets, one hopes that that it will make him think. We can see, for example, Aisha, and you know better than I do, the where Biden is at the moment. You've got huge turnout. He, without a Muslim vote, except that it's two devils that they have to choose from over there. But he has a problem in terms of possibly losing significant Muslim support in certain areas. Maybe not the swing states, but in certain areas. And therefore, now not the vacillation, but starting to think about this other demographic they have to be concerned about. So and the same thing would be for John Steenhuisen. I mean, if he gets tweets arising out of the Western Cape to say, you say there's no genocide in Gaza, okay, we won't be voting for you as we've done in the past. John Steenhuisen is going to take note, like it or not, for political expediency or not. He's going to take note when he gets 5,000 tweets from not just Muslims, from people in the Western Cape, for example, right? That's the leverage and the influence that we're looking to develop. And similarly, I mean, I tend to monitor SAFM a lot or listen to it a lot. And, for a while, there was absolutely no reporting on SAFM on Gaza. After the ICJ case, it was there for a day or two, and then I'm sure you've seen as well. This South African Jewish Board of Deputy brought these people from Israel, put them on a whole marketing tour, media
Absolutely.
tour, spewing absolute nonsense. Now,
In
had
fact,
we
I
been
made
a
sure
bit
just
more-
last week that a few Palestinians got onto the same stations to counter that narrative.
Absolutely, and that's fantastic. Now, at the same time, had we been organized in this social media space with numbers, we'd be able to tweet, the head of news, the presenter itself, and say, why didn't you ask this or this? You let this person have a free reign, unchallenged free reign for 15 or 20 minutes on your show. That now, this is how, the concept of lawfare, where Jewish Board of Deputies has used the law, they've used intimidation, harassment. I don't want to name names, but I've done interviews with, reporters, for example, on 702, etc., who've openly told me we can't, publish, we can't air what you've just said. It will never be allowed. And nothing terrible that I said, just the truth. So,
Yes.
but this sort of pressure, this sort of numbers reaching the head of news at SABC or ETV or ENCA or a particular politician, etc., clearly will have an impact. And then, of course, there's the role of certain websites, that we can be challenging, whether it's newspapers,
And
whether it's
monitoring,
online.
yes.
So the scope is humongous. And even if you don't know what to say, we'll tell you what to say. It's a matter of 2 minutes of your time to push out a tweet that we will give you, that you can now send a tweet. Or we'd like you to say, go on to this website. There was an interview, but some of the comments are horrendous. These are the comments you post on this website. I mean, I looked at some of the, for example, the BizNews conference that they held in Hermanus. I think it was Hermanus or Stellenbosch. And some of the comments made by some of those very, very influential people are just unbelievable, and they needed to be tackled. But I mean, we need numbers to do it. We need people to help.
Right. So what you're saying, Dr. Suleiman, is you're saying that firstly, it's about raising consciousness and monitoring. Secondly, it's about hopefully countering that narrative. Thirdly, it's about training people in the public, our listeners and viewers, for example, on social media. And then also, it's also about monitoring certain websites as well as radio stations, etc., in order to bring a mass number of responses either to influential people or to media stations, media houses, organizations that have been spouting either Islamophobia or a pro-Zionist narrative or anything that is hateful in character. We don't have very much time, but I want to offer you my services for one. Let me kick this off as a volunteer. I have, for the last 12, 15 years, been training journalists and students, mainly journalism students and media students, on how to recognize and counter misinformation. And of course, misinformation also includes deliberate misinformation of the kind that Israeli propaganda and Zionist propaganda put out. So my offer to you on the table, but I will leave the ball in your court, is that I will do a half-day training on how to verify images and another half-day training on how to verify video in the media at no cost. You get together your community journalists, citizen journalists, whoever wants to learn this, and I will provide that training. So
fantastic, Asha. Thank you so much. Allah reward you for that. No, inshallah, we will get put together a host of people, clearly not on the morning after an odd night, but no, inshallah, of course, we'll make it a priority after Eid. And Aisha, it's not only reactive, as you know better than I do, being a professional in this field, that there's such a proactive element to this as well. We see it for those of us, a news junkie like myself who goes onto these various websites and looks at these comments. Some of the hate that is spewed out, or some of the bias. I mean, you just have to sometimes go Google Mo Salah or look at a YouTube on Mo Salah, and you'll have 80 comments, but one or two, there'll be a few. For example, even someone as innocuous politically as he is, you will still find Islamophobic comments that will come out of somewhere. Now, there's such a element for people, even in that space, who are passionate about sports or whatever, to go and engage and make a difference. I mean, we both know there are bots, there are paid people by the Israeli government, IPEC, whatever, to do this on a full-time basis, students who are paid, etc. We may not have the ability to pay right now, inshallah we will. But in the meantime, this media activism, I don't want to call it jihad because it's become such a loaded term when this goes out on the internet. But this media activism and social conscious raising and proactive engagement is so important, especially when we do have the numbers, we do have the population of people who will be able to do it, and it can be absolutely anybody. Perhaps we'll excuse the matriculants, but young students, young scholar, or the later grade scholars, and then of course everybody else who really,
everybody,
with a
even
click of
the
a few buttons, can do it.
grandparent or great grandparent, who's now retired and at home and can spend 2 or 3 hours a day listening to the radio or reading the newspapers and monitoring them, or reading websites and monitoring them. Inshallah, let's get an army of social media activists together.
Absolutely.
Inshallah.
Absolutely, inshallah.
Dr. Suleiman, thank you so much for your time this morning, for your passion for this cause. To the listeners and viewers out there, please don't forget that very important WhatsApp number, 084 3333 979. It was on your screen earlier there. It's back on the screen. Thank you. And please contact SAMNET, that's the South African Muslims Network, who we've been speaking to, its chairperson, Dr. Faisal Suleiman. He's also our neighbor of note for today. And thank you once again, Dr. Suleiman. Please start to monitor, start to counter the disinformation that we're seeing in so many spaces around the media space, including on social media. So even if you see something on Twitter accounts, on WhatsApp groups, etc., send all this through to SAMNET, and inshallah we can start this journey of really countering the disinformation that's out there and the very, very heavily subsidized Zionist propaganda. Once again, Dr. Suleiman, shukran jazilan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you so much again to you and Salam Media for having us on, and inshallah this will help us raise consciousness, raise awareness, and as you said, get an army of people who are able to do this.
Inshallah, in these blessed days, last 10 days of Ramadan, may Allah Ta'ala fulfill that aspiration. Jazakallah khair. And with that, we're going to an ad break before we come to you with our Ramadan around the world.